Swain, Mike Zandowski, Courtney Hall, Joe Malinchik, and Stan Brock. And then the backs and receivers, John Freeze, the quarterback, with Marion Butts, Derek Walker, Anthony Miller, Nate Lewis, and Dwayne Young.
And when they go to the third wide receiver package, look for Dwayne Young to come out of the game and look for Sean Jefferson, their speedster.
So San Diego going to work at their own 20-yard line as Anthony Miller comes across in motion. And Freeze is back to throw. He has pressure. It's up for grabs, and it is incomplete. A high, wobbly throw to Anthony Miller, but he faced all kinds of pressure. It was Nolan Harrison who was right in his face. Now let's look at that front seven for the Raiders in town. They've been putting all kinds of pressure on quarterbacks this year.
26 sacks to lead the National Football League.
And in their secondary, McDaniel, Washington, Hoskins, and Anderson.
Take a look at that nickel package when they go to the extra back. Look for number 37, one of the fastest men in the NFL, James Trapp.
Second down and 10. Young, the H-back, is in motion. And the give is to Natron Means. Means now the remaining back. He's going to pick up about 3, and that's going to be it. Winston Moss and friends gathered at the 23-yard line. It'll be third down and long.
At the top of the show, we mentioned that Smith is leading the NFL in sacks. But the reputation that he got is that he couldn't play the run. Well, he just throws Dwayne Young away and gets out on the tackle for Means. He told us yesterday, he said, look, he said, I'm a first-round pick. He said, I'm a star player. Of course I can play the run. The name of the game of the National Football League is kill the quarterback.
He said, I sweep the run-up on my way to the quarterback.
He certainly did there.
Freeze, good protection. He goes deep, and it is incomplete. And again, Anthony Miller, the intended receiver, and Terry McDaniel picked him up. So for San Diego, an inauspicious start, 3 and
than he wanted to.
Pretty good kick. Tim Brown backpedals, takes it at the 25. He's going to have about 4 yards on the return. That'll be at 52 yards on the kick, a 4-yard return. And Gary Plummer makes the tackle for San Diego. So let's look now at that offensive set for the Raiders. And that offensive line of Gerald Perry, Steve Wisniewski, Don Mospar, Max Montoya, and Bruce Wilkerson. Jeff Hostetler will be the quarterback, with Smith and Robinson the running backs. Wright, Brown, and Horton are the receivers.
James Jett, the speedster, comes in as that third wide receiver, averaging nearly 30 yards per catch.
Los Angeles from their own 29-yard line, and Hostetler will come out throwing. Keeps both backs in for protection, goes deep, has a man, and it is caught. It is Tim Brown down the sideline. First offensive play, 71 yards. There's a flag. The penalty against San Diego. Touchdown, Raiders. First play of the game.
And that reaction right there by Al Davis is not one you see very often. That's not a man that's terribly emotional. But he has talked about that vertical stretch game and wanting to do it. And right off the bat, that's just what they did. Hostetler to Brown, 71 yards and a score. What happened here is there's a little bit of a hold on the out and up move. Hostetler looks left, does a good job getting the safety going the other direction. Look at the right in stride, the ball to Brown. Tremendous throw by Hostetler, and you can't say enough good things about what that man has brought to the offense of the LA Raiders.
And Jeff Jager will attempt the point after. And it is good. And suddenly the explosive Raiders are out in front by a score of 7-0. Is the scene as we look down from the MetLife blimp with Snoopy on the nose, and the Raiders with a very quick 7-0 lead. First offensive play of the game for Los Angeles, a 71-yard touchdown pass from Jeff Hostetler to Tim Brown. And here carry. And Nate Lewis feels it at the 6. Little stutter step, a couple of good moves out across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here it is from the back. Hostetler, look at all the time that he has. He has a good 5 seconds to look all over the field, and once he comes back to Brown, once again right in stride. Nice catch there by Brown over the top of his helmet. That's a difficult catch for a receiver, but he makes it. You know, he talked to us yesterday about the fact that he wanted 8 to 10 balls a game, and I'm sure if this is going to be the result, then Hostetler is going to oblige. Take a look at the reaction. Oh, baby.
Said originally I wanted 6, and then I wanted 8, and he said, now, hey, I want 10 from this man. San Diego first down. They're on 22-yard line. They're down in the ballgame, 7-0. And here is Marion Butts. And there's going to be a yard, maybe 2, and that is all. It'll be 2nd down and long. Joe Kelly making the tackle.
Crucial that San Diego, if they're going to be competitive in this ballgame, establishes the run. For the last 3 years, they've been an outstanding rushing team, but for whatever reason, they can't seem to get it going this year. A lot of injuries in the offensive line. Marion Butts only averaging 3.4 yards a carry. The defection of Rod Bernstein, and that man right there, Bobby Ross, is arguably the most frustrated about it.
2nd down and long, and Ronnie Harmon checks into the offensive set for San Diego. And we will have whistles and flags. The Raiders stepping into the neutral zone. Of course, the question being, were they drawn off? Was there a false start by San Diego? And Red Cashin will let us know.
Offside, number 93 on the defense, in the backfield, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That is on Greg Townsend. Chester McCollum.
Most notably throughout his career, Howie Long.
2nd down and 3. And Freeze to throw. And he goes deep to the far side into coverage. Anthony Miller, the intended receiver, but Terry McDaniel was pinning him right against the sideline. He didn't leave him any room to move.
And Miller told us yesterday, Charlie, that the one thing that McDaniel does well is he's very physical. He knows how to use his hands. Right there, he just backs up right there. There it is. Good elbow, and he turns and looks, has the elbow right there. And as soon as he looks for the ball, that impedes the progress of Miller, and that's what he's beefing about. But McDaniel walks away knowing that, hey, it's a good play. I look back, I got away with it.
They, of course, former teammates at Tennessee. 3rd down and 3. No running backs in this particular formation. And here is the 1st down completion. And it's, of course, to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon now, that is his 27th reception this year. And of the 27 receptions, he now has 15 first down.
Last year, Ronnie Harmon caught 79 balls, voted to the Pro Bowl, which is amazing when you consider that he's a part-time player. But the 79 catches went along with his 6 yards per average carry on the rush. They really wanted to get him the ball more this year, but as yet they haven't been able to do it.
1st down, 37-yard line. Natron Means is the running back. He's the ball carrier. And he finds a little yardage on the left side across the 40 to the 41. That'll go for 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 as Nolan Harrison makes the tackle. How important that San Diego on this drive get a score, field goal or touchdown to get back in the ballgame.
Well, it's too early necessarily for that, but one thing they certainly have to do is they have to generate some offense. They've knocked off a couple of first downs. They got to get some confidence, and the best thing they've done thus far is not go 3 and kick.
On the draw is Natron Means. Good inside-out move, and he picks up the 1st down as he goes to the 49-yard line of the Raiders. First time San Diego has been in Los Angeles territory. Lionel Washington and Eddie Anderson make the tackle.
Good blocking at the point of attack for Natron Means. One thing that I'd like to see him do again, not that he cares what I think, but at 5'10" and 245 pounds, once he gets into the secondary, even though he does have some quick feet, you'd like to see him lower his shoulder and go north and south and knock some people down. Save the jitterbugging for the 190-pounders.
Marion Butts is the running back. 1st down. And Butts is the ball carrier. And we have a flag down at the far side of the field. He goes to the 42-yard line. It'll be a holding call against San Diego, and that'll bring it back.
Another flag on the other side of the field could be offsetting.
Offside on the defense, holding number 71 on the offense. Those penalties offset. We'll replay first down.
So the ball remains at the Raiders' 49-yard line, and it's still a first down for San Diego.
I think the frustration you saw in the face of Art Shell was not so much because of the fact that it was offsetting penalties, but because the way on this particular series, the offensive line for the Chargers is starting to assert itself a little bit on that front four of the Raiders, and that's really not what's supposed to happen. Front four of the Raiders is supposed to dominate, but that was a pretty good gap there for Butts in that last play.
Natron Means the running back. Little play action fake. And he's throwing this one away. Anthony Miller, the intended receiver, but Anthony was picking up double coverage, and Freeze, as you can see, was running out of time, and so he was throwing this one away. It'll be second down and 10.
One of the difficulties of when you keep your tight end to pass block is you get extra protection, but you don't have as many people downfield. You called it right, Charlie. Anthony Miller coming into double coverage, and when you only have 4 guys out on the pattern, that's what the defense can adjust to and double team specific players.
When we talked with John Freeze yesterday, we asked him, remember the first start that he ever had was here. It was 3 years ago, last game of the season. He said, I was worried about just getting the snap over center. Has a man all alone over the middle. The pass goes to Sean Jefferson. And Derek Hoskins picked him up for the Raiders, a gain of 19 yards on the play.
Sean Jefferson, that was an excellent catch, but of more significance for him personally to get his confidence back. He had had the drops earlier in the season in some crucial games, dropped 2 touchdown passes against the Denver Broncos, but right there, finding the seam in the middle, slides down and makes the grab.
And wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open. Will they come back with that same pattern until they take it away from him?
Certainly in a specific situation, probably second or third and long, you could see it again.
Marion Butts, and there's nothing there. Chester McLaughlin fills the hole, and it'll be second down.
The Raider brass seems to think that this is a star of the future. Chester McLaughlin, 6'4", 315 pounds, and a good day can get that 40 under 5 seconds. But they like his maneuverability along with his strength. They liken him a little bit to a larger Michael Dean Perry, but I have to say to myself, well, let's see it happen first. But they're very high on him. They feel like he can be a great one. Both from Clemson, by the way. I guess that's why the comparison.
And it's a good comparison. We're about 6.5 minutes into the ball game. The Raiders have had the ball on one offensive play. They scored 71-yard touchdown pass. Freeze has a man, and he hits it. Touchdown, San Diego. Anthony Miller, 29 yards. And San Diego answered with a 78-yard touchdown drive.
Deep crossing route by Anthony Miller, and this is a nice catch and a nice route, but the play was made by Freeze. What a nice touch on that pass. This is what Bethard thought of when he drafted this man in the 6th round. They really liked his ability to put the ball on the money, and that was a tremendous throw. Interesting point in that drive too, Charlie. How many times did they go to Anthony Miller in this drive in the first 2? They must have thrown to him at least 5 or 6 times. They've decided this is our horse and we're going to ride it.
They are.
They really are.
And John Carney slaps it through. And we are tied. San Diego 7, the Raiders 7, 8:24 left. First quarter. Welcome back to the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. We now have a final on that game in Miami. The score here is tied, the Chargers and the Raiders, and we'll bring you up to date on what happened in Miami. And here is the kickoff. And Robinson will, he bobbles it, now he's got to cover it, and steps back in. He's got to get back out, or he... Bad mistake. Bad mistake. He had the touchback, and then he fumbled it out, and then he stepped back in, and he had the safety. He had to bring it back out. And is that a flag at the 21-yard line? There is something yellow floating down at the 21-yard line.
Never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. You are schooled on this forever. Okay, right now, keep the ball in. Okay, now it's out. You got to go. You got to go. Now he hesitates and goes back, and then it finally clicks in his head. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do that. I have to go. There's no excuse for that. Holding against the Raiders, that's going to be some absolutely awful field position.
After the ball was caught, holding by the receivers. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
And so with the penalty, the ball is placed down at the 2-yard line.
That would definitely fall into the category of rookie mistake.
Yes, big time.
And yet at the same time, I find it entertaining, rookie mistake, but he's the rookie and he's the starting running back.
And also, like you say, I mean, it's, you know, in junior high, if he returned in junior high, they talked about this.
And here playing center field, as soon as someone comes across his face, he's supposed to go with it. What happens is that Anderson is a little bit too late. This is asking a lot of McDaniel to have to run with a world-class speedster completely across the field. There you see Anderson far too late to help, and the throw by Freeze right on the money.
And a look at Anthony. We talked to him yesterday at the 2-yard line. This is his second offensive play of the ball game for the Raiders. And Robinson is the ball carrier off of the right side. And they're trying just to get a bit of room to operate.
Junior Seau clapping around, trying to get people fired up. He took a shot at the safety. There's nothing better than a defensive player, how excited they could get if they could get that 2 points. You saw number 55 shoot the gap and just missed the tackle. Just to give you an idea, the all-time record for safeties, I believe, is Doug English has 4. So, I mean, just getting a safety is a big deal, let alone, you know, having a career of it. I remember in this stadium, I believe it was 14 years ago, Freddie Dreyer had 2 in 1 game against the Green Bay Packers. That's unheard of. Kind of like back-to-back no-hitters.
And ties the all-time record. 2nd and 9. Hostetler to throw from the end zone. Has good protection. Comes over the middle, and all alone is the tight end Andrew Glover. Big play for the Raiders. Donald Frank makes the tackle 26 yards for Los Angeles.
Glover in for Ethan Horton on that situation. They go to the zone defense, gets him in the middle, but the passing game has really been what's effective for the Raiders. Take a look at last year versus this year in the numbers. The yards per game, over 30 more, but the really significant factor there is the completion percentage. Not a single quarterback on the Raider roster last year threw for over 50%, and now there's Hostetler at 59.
And a first down at the 29-yard line. Hostetler has pressure, bounces back. And he throws on the far side to Tim Brown, who was coming back along the sideline, and the officials say no, he was juggling it, did not have possession. But the one thing that you want to point out is that once that Hostetler had pressure, then Tim Brown was coming back down the sideline to help him out.
It's good receivers do. We're not going to be able to see if he bobbled it from there. It is right there. That's a good call by the official. The ball did just come up, and when it did come up, the 1 foot came right on it. Bionic eyes. Excellent job on the side, Justin.
And it was Sean Lee who was putting the pressure on Jeff Hostetler. So it will be 2nd down and 10. And here is Robinson. Somebody lost a helmet. And he's going to get a yard, maybe 2. Let's go back. I started to mention we have a final on that game in Miami. And Miami defeats the lead in the West.
Ironic that I mentioned the thing about safeties, like back-to-back no-hitters like Johnny Vandermeer. I don't believe that Shula's record will be broken when he goes past Hallis. You and I talked about that yesterday.
There's a flag on the play, another flag. Pass is complete far side. It's to James Jett. If it stands up through the double flags, the Raiders will have the first down. No, I don't think the way that we've seen the development of the National Football League, and franchises are worth $140 or $180 million, that
Offside. Number 92 on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
But I don't think with that kind of money invested that the CEO, therefore being the owner usually, is going to pick out a 33-year-old youngster to run the operation. And that's, of course, when Shula started with Baltimore at 33. And then the other thing, he came into a really good organization, a winning organization in Baltimore. When he came to Miami, it was a terrible organization, a terrible expansion team, and he really formed that organization and continued to build it. But I don't think they'll have the years left to do that for a young coach. And here is Hostetler.
Oh boy! I tell you what.
And it's incomplete.
They went with the offensive tackle. Went down to block on the defensive tackle. They left Steve Smith to block on Leslie O'Neal. and he absolutely got away with tackling him. Take a look to the right of your screen. Watch number 91. He's going to come in. Look at number 35. Steve. Look at him hold him right there. Just hang on. Just grab him around the waist.
It's a takedown.
Good job, guys. Excellent replay. And he got away with it.
And also an excellent defensive play by Stanley Richard, who went high above the intended receiver and knocked it away. Second down and 10. Raiders at their own 43-yard line. Under 5.5 to go first period, and we're tied at 7. And here is Robinson. Jumps to the outside. Gets past Bert Grossman and turns the corner for about 6 before Junior Seau and Donald Frank make the tackle.
With the defections of Marcus Allen and Eric Dickerson, the running game was supposed to be handed over to Nick Bell. But Nick Bell has been unable to stay healthy, and as a result, this youngster from Louisiana leads the Raiders with a mere 211 yards. You saw that really is the weak point right now of the Raider organization, is running the ball. But the effectiveness of the quarterback is able to rectify that.
Third down and 4. Tyrone Montgomery is the remaining back. And 3 wide receivers all on the near side. And Hostetler again with good protection. Throws back underneath the coverage. It is to Tim Brown, but he had positioned himself at the 46-yard line. And guess what? That is a first down by a yard. Sean Van Horst makes the tackle.
Line up with 3 wide receivers on the left side, and Hostetler looks over. He actually gets his ball over a little bit late. I thought maybe Van Horst could have made a play on it. You can see he's there, but instead he plays the body instead of the ball, and as a result, Brown's able to get the first down.
And remember, the Raiders started this drive at their own 2-yard line on the miscue by Greg Robinson on the kickoff.
Up to this point, I'd have to say that neither defense has exactly been scintillating.
Robinson around the right side. Maybe a yard to the 45. It'll be second down and 9.
The boos that you hear for Junior Seau firing people up, and boy, how it can change. Those same people were cheering like crazy when Junior Seau was notching his 19 sacks and 34 hurries his junior year there at SC before leaving, giving up his senior season to go to San Diego.
And of course, those of you watching across the country not familiar, just University of Southern California, just right over there, just across the street from the Coliseum.
Fans are so fickle.
Of course. Hostetler again with good protection. Deep over the middle. Pass is complete to James Jett. Jett, the rookie free agent from West Virginia. He can fly. Just like his name implies. He picks up 20 here. And Stanley Richard makes the stop.
If you watch the Monday Night Football game on the 70-plus yard touchdown that he had against the Broncos, this is a similar route. It's a deep in route. Stanley Richard comes over at the last minute to knock him down, but that's a lot to ask of Van Horst to stay with that man completely across the field.
And remember yesterday when we were talking with Tim Brown about speed, he said we've had speed on and off in the past. Now we have fast football players.
And that's a very good point. You're right. You can see right there he certainly has the skins on the wall, so to speak, with a gold medal being an alternate in Barcelona.
And he comes back to Tim Brown, first down. Back-to-back first downs, 13-yard line.
Lest we forget, we're giving a lot of credit to Brown and to Hostetler, and rightly so. But take a look at the offensive line, what protection they're getting. We mentioned the speed of the outside receivers. There it is. Look at those 100-meter times.
The silver and blur.
Silver and blur.
I love that.
I was talking to one of the coaches yesterday, and he felt like if they put that team together outside of the U.S., if the U.S. didn't participate, they thought they could medal in the International Olympics. Maybe they're right.
And here is Montgomery, the ball carrier. Hostetler has completed 6 of 8 passes. On this drive, he has completed 5 of 7.
Well, Joe Montana's still up there, but of course the issue here, he got hurt. Those of you that had a chance to watch that Miami game, Hostetler 79.9. Once again, look at the records. That's the big deal.
That's your natural gas quarterback efficiency rating. Second down, and he is dumping this out. Hostetler with the pressure and nobody in the middle of the field. He avoids the loss.
Well, the reason nobody's in the middle of the field is the man that knocked him down was Stanley Richard, the free safety. They came with the safety blitz, and he actually had They actually did a pretty good job of picking up most of it, but at the last minute, Richard came in and knocked him down before he could get the ball to the outside. Impressive numbers early in the game, particularly the yardage. And of course, half of that was on the big play to Tim Brown.
Of 71 yards and the opening touchdown in the first offensive play of the game for the Raiders. 3rd down and 9. And the ball at the 12-yard line. And Hostetler calls for a timeout. That'll stop the clock. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds. That is the time remaining here in the first quarter. So we'll step aside for a moment. We are tied at Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, minute 10 left to go. First quarter tied at 7. This is the current drive, using more than 7 minutes off of the clock. And it's 3rd down and 9 at the 12-yard line. And here comes the blitz and the sack. And that is the first sack of the ball game for San Diego, and Darren Carrington got it.
Darren Carrington, one of the leading tacklers for the Chargers. In fact, earlier in the season, he was pretty much a nickel back. But he was playing so well, he took out Floyd Fields and brought him in. Here he comes, right from the right of your screen, right up the middle. There's nobody there. He slices between the guard and tackle. That was an excellent job just avoiding getting blocked by Carrington. Big sack. Good call by Arnsparker down there inside the 22.
So now the line of scrimmage is the 20-yard line. This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt by Jeff Jager. He has hit his last 10 in a row. And it's a little wobbly and a little off center, but it is good. He has hit now 11 in a row, and the Raiders are back in front. They lead 10-7.
Big upset. I mean, coming into the game 2-4. Many people thought their season was over. The Giants 5-1. Everybody's talking about a juggernaut they are. Congratulations to Bruce Coslet and his troops.
And here is Nate Lewis on the return. And he is dumped at the 12-yard line by Dan Leon.
Take a look at Carrington and the free safety, and what happens a lot of times when a guy blitzes, he gets caught up in the mix. But right here between guard and tackle, watch the evasiveness. He's able to get through between those two guys and make the play. Too many times the little bodies, in this case about 5'11 and a half, 185. Look at how he slides right between the two, keeps his feet, and is able to nail Hostetler.
Floyd Fields.
It's 2:35. I mean, he was going to be the eternal backup.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a limited partner being Dan Marino's backup. You're never going to play. Good for him.
San Diego first down at the 12. And here is Ronnie Harmon. Harmon in on first down. And he is out to the 20-yard line. So he picks up a quick 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. Eddie Anderson with the tackle.
You made a great point yesterday with regards to Ronnie Harmon, talking about the fact that why can't he do for San Diego what Thurman Thomas does for Buffalo? And the point was as well, maybe isn't that big. He's 5'11", 205. Emmett Smith is 5'9", 210. Thurman Thomas is 5'10", 200.
I think we all get slotted.
Exactly.
I think in all corporations, in television, in football, and all sport, you get slotted, and he unfortunately has been slotted as a 3rd down back.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm getting tired of being referred to as Charlie Jones' partner.
No, that's your slot. Hey, happy Halloween. Back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. As you know, today is Halloween, and you know we couldn't let this one go by. The Wicked Witch of the West is here with us, and
Why do we have to do this? I have no career after this.
That's
This is
right.
Unbelievable.
This is it. We have peaked out. And popping through is Marion Butts. He is not peaked out. 2nd and short, and he will pick up around 16 yards on the play.
Here's an interesting point,
And the
Charlie.
first down,
Can you believe this? That is his longest run of the season up to this game. Here it is, game number 7 for the San Diego Chargers. This 16-yard gain is the longest for Marion Butts of the season. Coming into the game, his longest run was only 13.
I can believe that. I can't believe that last on camera.
I'm sure my kids are proud.
Well, they should be. It's Halloween.
Right now they're saying, I don't know him.
First down, 36-yard line. Freeze to throw, far side. The pass a little low. But Ronnie Harmon pulls it in.
Notice that Ronnie Harmon was in motion. What they're trying to do is that teams have been double-teaming him every game. Bobby Ross was concerned that they got to get the ball in the hands of Harmon, and the result is that they're putting him in motion. He said that he plays almost every position offensively in terms of a skill position on the field just so they can get him the ball. Isn't it interesting, too, with regards to how the regard that they show for Ronnie Harmon in the San Diego organization? For the last 2 years, he's been voted the team's MVP.
Voted by his teammates.
Very impressive.
Second down and 5. Freeze with good protection over the middle. It is incomplete. Derek Walker, the H-back, went up for it, couldn't come down with it. Eddie Anderson had the coverage, so it'll be third down and 5.
A little frustrating for Freeze because he gets the protection. This is a very catchable ball right in the middle of the field. Puts it right on the hands. Yeah, that's true. Anderson was there, but the ball goes through the hands of number 89. He wishes he could have that one back, I'm sure.
Third down and 5. We are a minute and a half into the second quarter, and the Raiders lead it by 3, 10-7. Blitz pressure, but it is picked up, and the pass is caught by Sean Jefferson, and then he is chased out of bounds. We have a flag, and it may be a holding call on Howie Long.
Well, it's going to be a holding call against the Chargers, but an interesting point here is they might refuse it and force the fourth down. That's a big play by James Trapp because he pushed Jefferson back, so he was unable to get the first. You can see clearly by what Art Shell is motioning. They want the play.
It'd be fourth down and 1 at the 45-yard line.
Now here's an interesting point with the big 3 tight ends,
Holding
Marion Butts.
number 67 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's fourth down.
And it's on Stan Brock.
Now this is interesting. They're vacillating right now. Okay. I thought that this might be a chance. Hey, you're down 14-70 or the 45-yard line. What do you think?
You're a good gamble.
You got a 250-pound back.
Yep. But John Kidd will kick it away.
Easy for us to play with the Chargers' money, isn't it?
Gary Plummer is the up back. He's there to block. Thinking of a fake? No. Here's the kick. And it is taken at the 17. Here is Tim Brown. Excellent coverage. 38 yards of the kick, only a 2-yard return. Darian Gordon was there for San Diego. We've got a timeout. We'll be back. Raiders by 3. Fan who's been into the silver and black pumpkin patch. And that's what he ran into.
And that's someone's been into the mushrooms.
Ooh, yeah. Big time. Hostetler to throw. All the time in the world. Now, he is a good runner. He'll head for the sideline here. Now, Art Shell told us yesterday that he simply does not want him to run as much. Now, here it was obvious he was just headed for the sideline rather than picking up some extra yardage. Because he doesn't want to take, he's taken enough hits. He doesn't want to take any more hits because he wants him there at the end of the season.
Well, but that's a staple. Of course you don't. But the thing is nowadays, especially in the 90s, a mobile quarterback is a must because the focus of every defense is to rush the passer. To have somebody that can move like that, it's a big plus. In fact, if you think about it, Charlie, the history of the Raiders, quarterbacks, LaMonica, Stabler, Plunkett, Wilson, they really haven't had a mobile quarterback. No. Certainly not as mobile as this one.
Second down and 8. Just kind of dumps it underneath the coverage. The flag is down. He goes to Steve Smith as fullback. Junior Seau makes the tackle. And it'll be a holding call against the Los Angeles Raiders. Steve Smith once did a great favor for me. He autographed a picture, which I greatly appreciated, and he autographed it to my friend Steve Smith from Steve Smith.
Holding number 65 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
A bugaboo for the Raiders throughout their history has been penalties. You can see here this year is no exception. 63 in the NFL average. That's 24 over the average. And, of course, they have the record. 1960-19. Did I play on that team? My memory is...
I broadcasted. I can think of that for sure. That was on Max Montoya. Montoya in his 15th year. We asked him yesterday how many more years, and he said, how many more years? How many more weeks?
That's right.
Second down and long. And all alone, wide open is Tim Brown. Oh, somebody blew coverage, Stanley Richard went over and made the tackle. May not have been his coverage. It was good for 29 yards.
Judging
And
by,
that was 2nd and 18.
and judging by the reaction of Stanley Richard, you think it was his, but take a look at the time that Jeff Hostetler has to throw. Give credit up front to Bruce Wilkerson, Steve Wisniewski, Max Montoya, Don Mosbar, and Gerald Perry. They are just keeping the pass rushers of the San Diego Chargers at bay.
Look what Tim Brown has done. 4 receptions, 117, and a touchdown.
Do you think that they're sorry about not making that deal for Tony Bennett from Green Bay for Tim Brown?
Some of the deals you don't make are the best deals, aren't
I
they?
agree.
Yeah. Hostetler again, lots of time. Pass is incomplete. The Rocket, the intended receiver. That's the first ball that's come his way this afternoon. Number 86, Rocket Ismail.
Led the AFC in sacks last year with 17 career year. Leslie O'Neal, one of the 2 or 3 best pass rushers in the National Football League. First there's the fullback, now there's the tackle. The Raiders are smart. They know who to go after. They double team Leslie O'Neal, and thus far he's yet to make a dent.
The Raiders.
One thing I'm surprised about while we're on the subject of Leslie O'Neal, Charlie, is that why they didn't move him down the line. Why do they always isolate him over the left tackle?
I have no idea. I was going to say that's the Raiders' 7th touchdown, and I was concentrating on that.
Well, the reason I was asking that is that, you know, throughout the league, when you have a Bruce Smith or Derek Thomas or a great pass rusher, they isolate him over the weakest offensive lineman. But in this case, the left tackle is always your best offensive lineman, so why not put your best defensive lineman over somebody else? The Chargers opt not to do that.
We've got a timeout.
And speaking of left tackles, Gerald Perry a little shook up there. And there's somebody that played a little left tackle and not altogether too well, did he? 8 Pro Bowls, Hall of Famer, Art Shell.
And we're going to step aside for a moment, but we'll be back.
Lineman, not only do you have to deal with the great Leslie O'Neal, but right here, take a look at Blaze Winter, comes into the knee. Look at how that goes. Bends back, and Gerald Perry's on the sidelines now. That could be a sprained medial collateral. Hopefully it's not more serious than that.
Rich Stevens has replaced him in the ballgame. Hostetler again with good protection, and he throws for the first down. He needed 9, he got 10, he went to the Rocket.
Inevitably, when you talk about speed receivers, you think about guys that just go up and can't make the requisite moves to get the first down. Raghib Ismail comes right down at 10 yards, as you mentioned. Charlie settles down, content for the first down. Nice throw by Hostetler to the outside, so the incoming defenders couldn't get to it.
And good news for the Raiders is Gerald Perry is back in the ballgame, number 71 at left tackle.
Wow. That is good news. Man, I'm surprised.
First down, 48-yard line of San Diego. Raiders up by 3, and there's the second sack of the ballgame for San Diego. Grossman gets this one, and Carrington on a safety blitz had gotten the first one.
Up to this point, the protection had been outstanding. Bert Grossman's going to come from the right of your screen. He beats Bruce Wilkerson, but again, he actually has pretty decent time. But just in the last minute, give credit to the Chargers in the secondary for doing a good job in coverage.
And it is 2nd and 17. Now remember, earlier in this drive, it was 2nd and 18 at the 11-yard line. And then Hostetler converted with a 29-yard pass and picked up the first down. This time he comes back underneath the coverage, and that is Rocket Ismail and Donald Frank with the tackle.
Flag down, though. It's probably going to come back.
The flag dropped back at the 38-yard line of the Raiders. And there's the call.
Now, Art Shell wants to know, once again, we mentioned he was an offensive lineman, and he wants to know if it's the same person or what's going on.
Number 76 on the offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That's Steve Wisniewski, their all-pro left guard. Art Shell, if that's one thing he knows about, it's holding in the offensive line, and he's arguing right now with that umpire to say, be consistent. Now, be consistent. He's been doing it the same way throughout the first quarter. What's the problem now? Left guard, Steve Wisniewski, see right in the middle, number 76, locks up on the outside of the pads. Man pushes forward. Now, what the umpire sees is he sees those hands on the pads, and that's what he's going to call.
Second down and 27. The Raiders have 8 first downs now in the ballgame, and all 8 first downs have come through the air. And now we have the pointing as Steve Wisniewski, the offensive guard, may have been in motion. Sean Lee made contact.
False start before the ball was snapped. Number 76 on the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Now remember, just a moment ago, the Raiders were at the San Diego 48-yard line, and now they're back at their own 30-yard line, and it is second down and 32.
And just a moment ago, we put up that graphic regarding being the most penalized team, and it turned out to be prophetic, didn't it?
Chargers have not drawn a flag. Here is the screen left side. Steve Smith. Gary Plummer makes the tackle.
Good call by the cognoscenti of the Raiders. Tom Walsh and Terry Robisky just trying to get some yardage back. Get a situation where you can have a makeable first down, if you can call third and
20.
Third and 20 makeable. Steve Smith was a tremendous receiver out of the backfield, but of course what he's known best for is being a blocking back. And now with Tom Rathman out with an injury and Don Warren retired, you could argue that this might be the best blocking fullback in the National Football League.
Meanwhile, Jeff Hostetler has completed 10 of 13, 200 yards, and then 71-yard touchdown to Tim Brown. And the Raiders offense has been on the field for a long time. This one is incomplete. Just off of the fingertips. So it'll be fourth down and 20. James Jett, the intended receiver. Now we have a fight.
This was started, Wisniewski is in the middle of that, and I think that certainly bears out the frustrations that he had over back-to-back penalties of the holding and the motion. But since it was so far away from the action, no flags were thrown, and so it's bygones be bygones. But you can see Wisniewski screaming at the umpire, saying, "What's the deal? This guy kicked me."
So it'll be fourth down and 20. And the kicking team is in for the Raiders. And Darian Gordon with his first opportunity with a punt return.
A couple of years ago when some of the big trades were talked about, for instance, it was rumored that Steve Young might come to the Raiders. That was the man that everybody wanted. That was the man they were interested in, was Steve Wisniewski. And the Raiders said no.
Pressure on Gossett, and there is no flag as he went down. And a fair catch is taken at the 11-yard line.
Now he's
laughing and limping it coming out. He was trying to get away with what he knew he did.
Knew it. You're absolutely right.
47 yards on the kick and a chorus of boos.
Chorus of boos. He's my old roommate when I was at the Raiders. Take a look right there. He just jumps. He picks up his left leg. He doesn't want to get hit. He knows it. He knows it. Looks over the official. No problem. I'm cool. Come on, roomie. The finger? Give me a break. By the way, in the midst of what we were just talking about, that was a terrific punt.
Yes, it was.
Out of the 10-yard line, 47 yards with all those people in his face.
San Diego down by 3. They shied at their own 11-yard line. Just over 7.5 left to go first half. And here is Natron Means off of the right side. You can say this about the offense of the Chargers. They're well rested because the Raiders have been on the field for a while.
You and I have argued this point before with regards to running backs. I'm curious in your opinion. San Diego does a job of mixing people in and out.
Yes.
And I just wonder if you lose rhythm doing that, going every other series. If you don't just go with one guy and say, okay, you're going to get your 20 carries a game, because history would show us the Super Bowl winner has always had that go-to guy.
No, that's right. They feel, the Bobby Ross feels that, particularly like in this ball game, that they need to show a lot of different formations, a lot of different people, and a lot of different offensive sets. Means is spun around, and he is going to be dropped for a loss. And it was Nolan Harrison and Derek Hoskins who got a hold of him. He did a little 360 action.
Tough to fight that urge when you get trapped like that in the backfield. You spin around and you want to make something happen, but the reality is so many times you make it worse. You mentioned Nolan Harrison gets him across. Now he's backward. Should be going forward right there at the last minute. He does, preventing a bigger loss. Good penetration on that part by Harrison.
Time of possession so far, the Raiders have had the football 4.5 minutes more than the Chargers. Here's a look at the time of possession. And we have a timeout on the field, so we'll step aside. 6:36 left to go. Second quarter. Raiders lead it 10-10.
Go ahead. Nolan Harrison apparently hurt his arm on that play. You see him holding the wrist or the forearm in his hand.
And the handoff to Ronnie Harmon, and he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. It will be 4th down, and the Raiders could have excellent field position.
Well, clearly they didn't want to take any chances, as Harrison apparently is going to go into the locker room for some x-rays. Harrison, of course, was the man that got his hand on Means the play before.
And when he spun Natron Means around for a moment, it looked as if Natron lost where he was and started towards the wrong end zone and then came back around. John Kidd will be kicking to Tim Brown. Good kick. Tim takes it at the 46. 2 blockers in front. And is going to go out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Let's see where the officials will mark it. And speaking of Tim Brown, he, of course, played his collegiate ball at Notre Dame. We talked to him about Notre Dame. He said, what a great place that is to play. Yesterday, Florida State, the #1 team, defeating Wake Forest 54-0. Notre Dame had to come from behind against Navy. Navy really played well. Notre Dame final 58-27, and that means, of course, that a collision course November the 13th, Florida State, Notre Dame, #1 and #2. And we will be there. It'll be on NBC starting at 1:30 Eastern Time. And Bob Costas is going to join us. He will be our official host for the afternoon at Notre Dame Stadium. And now Hostetler back to throw. Comes to the near side. The pass is complete to Montgomery. And he is dropped by Darren Carrington.
They're looking for Tyrone Montgomery to do for the Raiders what Ronnie Harmon does for the Chargers. He's their new 3rd down back, and they want to get the ball in his hands. Of course, he has some very famous older brothers. Those of you who follow football, Wilbert Montgomery, former great Pro Bowl running back for the Philadelphia Eagles, and a great kick returner receiver, and a buddy of mine by the name of Cleotha Montgomery is also his older brother. In fact, I made it a point to tell Ty before the game, I said, say hello to Cleve for me. Pretty good heritage of runners there in the Montgomery family.
2nd down and 5. Raiders leading by 3. And Hostetler goes deep and incomplete. And speaking of Montgomery, that is the man he was going to, and Stanley Richard picked him up.
Did you see the reaction of Hostetler? He's saying, tell him to run. Come on, tell him to run. That's it, run. Right at the end of the throw, it looked like he just eased up and felt like he couldn't get it. And here's Hostetler taking the shot, looking at it. Now when he gets up, he's not going to be very happy about it. He just screams at him and tells him to run. You get used to seeing those receivers at the end of the play lay out and do whatever it was, but Montgomery didn't do that, and he caught the ire of the quarterback.
3rd down and 5. The numbers on Hostetler, 11 of 17. Looks left, has pressure. That is the 3rd time that he has been sacked.
Once again with the safety blitz, Marquez Pope came from the other side, and Hostetler never saw him. Bill Arnsparger doing a great job of disguising that. Number 30 Pope looks like he's going to have the running back. He cuts right inside of Perry, and of course Perry in that case knows that he has Leslie O'Neal, but he would have been a little bit better off to take a shot at Pope and let O'Neal go. Now that pushes the Raiders out of field goal position.
And that means that Jeff Gossett on 4th down will be kicking.
I enjoyed your conversation with Bill Arnsparger yesterday, by the way. If there's anything in football he hasn't seen, I'd like to know.
And we were talking to him, of course, about Don Shula, who he's with for so many years. This is drilled for the corner. And it will go out at around the 11-yard line. So San Diego will have a 1st down at their own 11. That was good for 30 yards. Tonight, be sure to join John Forsythe. He was my favorite. The man is talented.
Did you believe he's Batman, though?
Oh, yeah. Freeze unloads deep and overthrows everybody. Terry McDaniel was trying to get there. Nate Lewis, the intended receiver. McDaniel really had a better shot at it than anybody.
McDaniel, a Pro Bowler last year, shows why there. Goes with the post pattern. He runs it better than Lewis did.
So bring the ball back to the Charger 12-yard line. Now we're talking with Bill Arnsparger, of course, about Don Shula. Miami winning today. Don Shula now tied with George Halas for the all-time record of wins in professional football. And, of course, we'll go on to break it this year. Little swing to Eric Bieniemy, and Mike Jones makes the tackle, and it'll be 3rd down.
Mike Jones, a very valuable member for the Raiders on special teams and in specific packages, particularly when they go to the throws. He's all over Bieniemy in that situation. Bieniemy has been pretty much in the doghouse for the Chargers after some of the comments he made about getting traded. Not a real good target of 5'7", makes a nice catch, but Jones all over him.
And it is 3rd down and 10. So all of a sudden here in the waning moments of the second quarter, 3:29 and counting time left in the first half, is that the Raider defense beginning to assert itself, and here they may have asserted themselves a little too soon. This is Howie Long. Howie, of course, as soon as he gets in the backfield of San Diego, turns and points to an offensive lineman. He says, I was drawn off. It was obviously a false start. And now the officials will make the final determination.
I think maybe some of those defensive linemen are getting frustrated. They're yet to. He hasn't been sacked yet, has he?
Has not.
Yeah. Give credit to that offensive line of the Chargers. Much maligned. New right side. A lot of people hurt. Yeah. I love that everybody's pointing. It was you. No, you. No, you.
You did it.
You did it. No, you. No, you.
Before the ball was snapped, false start on the left guard. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
That would be Mike Zendowski.
Take a look at left guard number 70. A little bit of a flex right there. Of course, at the same time, the quarterback.
Was going.
And that's what Howie's pointing at. He's pointing at Freeze, and he was right.
Yeah, and
could have been either guy.
And when Freeze left, he didn't have the football with him either.
Yeah. First penalty of the day for the Chargers.
That'll take it back to the 6-yard line. And it's 3rd down and 15.
Bobby Ross doesn't particularly like the explanation of it.
Raiders with a 4-man rush. Freeze from the end zone. He better get out. He is sacked. But in the field of play, it'll be 4th down and long. Anthony Smith, that is his 11th sack of the year. He leads the NFL in that category. And when we talked with Anthony Smith, he said, I've passed my goals. Now I'm just going to play.
All he does is push forward. It's nothing more than a power rush, and right there he has the good hands. I noticed the same thing on the Monday night game with John Elway. Very strong hands. Once he gets the hands on the jersey, it's all over. And a lot of guys, you see that happen, they can run through the hand tackles. Not the case of Smith. Strong man.
Pressure, and Kidd gets it away. Tim Brown takes it with a full head of steam, and the Raiders will set up shop near the 30-yard line of San Diego with 2:32 left to go first half. 36 yards on the kick, a 12-yard return.
Anthony Smith, as you mentioned, 11 sacks, leading the National Football League. Name of the game is to kill the quarterback. If you do that, then you are the star. You know, not much debate on that statement, is there? That pretty much says it all.
No, you know, but he was mad yesterday when we talked to him.
Well, look at his face right now. He's not much for glad handing.
No.
You can see that in his face. He's not a high fiver, and he's not a dancer. He's somebody that goes about his business, and he feels like this is expected of him. He should be doing this, is his feeling
right.
on this.
He said, I was a first-round draft choice. That's what you do if you're a first-round draft choice. I said, okay.
Yeah, like we're going to argue.
That's right. Good defensive play by Junior Seau, who cuts down Greg Robinson. Now the boos are because Junior always starts to celebrate.
Well, he went
That's
with
the way he plays.
And then he went with the Tai Chi kick. I think that's what they didn't like. Watch at the end of this, number 55, you're not going to outrun him. You might be 4'4", 4'5" in the backfield. You're not going to get past him. Take a look at the excitement here. Here comes the kick. Oh, take that. Yeah, buddy. Roundhouse kick for you Tai Chi or Taekwondo fans there.
Los Angeles in the first half. Everybody wants to establish a rushing game. They have not established it. Only 8 yards rushing. 2-minute warning. We'll be back in. Losing earlier today to Miami. The Raiders with a victory today would be tied for the lead in the West. They face 2nd down and 14. And here is the reverse. And again, the running game, the rushing attack of the Raiders is rushing nowhere. Rocket Ismail. And be sure to stay with us at halftime for the Domino Pizza's NFL Live halftime report. And if you happen to see the pregame show, you know there's a revival of that great musical of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Well, I think it is truly. I think it's Mike Ditka and his Amazing Technicolor Electric Coat. Just kind of.
Let me tell you something, though. He wasn't sold into Egypt. He was sold into 30 Rock.
The Electric Coat.
Oh, boy.
Third down and 14. Here is pressure from the backside. Hostetter being harassed, and then it is knocked away. Stanley Richard was the man who knocked the ball down, as the Charger defense putting all kinds of pressure on the Raider quarterback.
Great job by Hostetter just to get this ball away. For whatever reason, they're not making the adjustments on the safety blitz. You see Stanley Richard right in his face, bats this ball down. This is actually just a good job by Hostetter to come back fourth down in a position where they have a shot at a field goal.
So Jeff Jaeger will attempt a field goal. This will be a 52-yard attempt. He has hit a 53-yarder this year.
That was with altitude, however.
And it's going to bin left, and it is no good from 52 yards away.
Had the distance, though. Of course, the consequence of attempting the long field goal is that the fact that in the last two drives, San Diego has started at the 10-yard line. Now they get to start at the 35, and they've got a shot at a field goal of their own here if they can generate a few first downs. Watch the hook.
Gossett the holder.
The slow compression means he got a lot of it. See, it was long enough, but it just hooks off to the left.
And it also means that the Chargers will take over at the line of scrimmage, the 34-yard line.
Decent, though. He'll keep his job.
Here is Ronnie Harmon. Harmon looks for a block. Slips the tackle, cuts back.
Boy, he's good at that.
Dives out to the 45, and he's going to pick up the first down.
See, he's good at that.
Jordan Dorn finally got it.
Oh, he's fun to watch. High stepping.
And he always knows where he is and where everybody else is. He has that, that great feel of where the defenders are, left, right, behind you.
He has that elusive quality. Boy, he's fun to watch.
We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
The average ice cube can't taste the difference between Diet Dr. Pepper and regular Dr. Pepper. But the amazing thing is, you probably can't either. Discover what millions already have. The great taste of Diet Dr. Pepper.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose one.
53 seconds, that is the time remaining in the first half. Chargers a first down at their own 45-yard line, trailing by 3. The pass over the middle, Ronnie Harmon, and Harmon spins inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Eddie Anderson saves the touchdown, and the Chargers with a lot of time remaining, 29 yards on the play. They'll stop the clock here.
Once again, lovely touch on the ball to Harmon right down the middle, man-for-man coverage. That's asking a lot of Mike Jones to cover the great Ronnie Harmon, and once again, great balance. Harmon bounces up. The 77 you see taped to the back of his helmet is in honor of Eric Moten, the great run blocker for the Chargers, who's out for the season with knee surgery. There's that little piece of tape. Ronnie Harmon doing the things that made him so exciting in '92. You know, up to this.
In Charger territory, not able to cash in.
Big third down sacks.
Freeze to throw. Has time. And it is incomplete. Anthony Miller, the intended receiver. That will stop the clock with 38 seconds left. Eddie Anderson had the coverage.
Good play by Anderson.
And it's second down and 10. Harmon, the remaining back. And he will swing over the middle, deep in the corner, and incomplete. Sean Jefferson, the intended receiver. It'll be third down and 10.
Freeze really wants that one back. He had exactly what he wanted. He had Jefferson on the rookie trap and just threw it a little bit too far. Had exactly what he wanted, man-for-man coverage.
James Trapp taken in the third round of the draft, number 37, the defensive back. Played his collegiate ball at Clemson.
You know, with the exception of the sack by Anthony Smith earlier in the quarter, I think the offensive line, again, it bears repeating, is doing a good job of protecting Freeze. Unlike Hostetter, not terribly mobile, and so he's not a guy that can escape the rush, but they've been able to protect him.
Third down and 10. Into the corner, a timing pattern, and it is incomplete. Harmon, the intended receiver, Terry McDaniel, was there.
That's a curious group of throws there, Charlie. Why are you throwing in? You know, there's plenty of time left. Why do you keep throwing into the end zone?
Why not nickel and dime it down the middle like you were doing over the middle?
And plus the fact that this will be a 45-yard attempt. That's not exactly a gimme.
And also you're kicking with 26 seconds left, which means that the Raiders will have another opportunity.
Have to question the play calling there.
John Carney from 45 yards away and the tie. It is up, and it is good.
Whoa. Well,
so Carney hits from 45 yards away, and he nailed it.
I was going to say, that hit up on the screen. That would have been good from 55 yards. Boy, he got all of that one.
And so we are tied at 10 now with 21 seconds left to go in the first half. Bobby Ross, we talked to him. He had the bye week. He had the weekend off. He worked all day Saturday. Then what did you do? I went to the movies. My wife took my wife to the movies.
And what did they see?
What did they see?
They saw Rudy. Yeah, can't get away from football. John Carney, earlier in the season, if you recall, those that follow football closely, 29 straight field goals to break the National Football League record. But since then, he had missed 3 out of 4. In fairness to him, 2 of those were blocked. So I'm sure he's got to be very happy about nailing that big 45-yarder to tie just before the half is over.
And don't forget our Domino Pizza's NFL halftime report. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka, all the scores and highlights. And they will talk about, of course, Don Shula, the victory over Kansas City. They will talk about the New York Jets as they upset the Giants in New York. And they'll be talking about this ball game. We've had a good first half. We are tied at 10.
How do you figure out that Jet team? I mean, they play some just horrible games, and then they beat Miami in Miami, and then beat the Giants at their, of course, it's their place too, but still, 2 big victories.
Now, this is a shot from 1,200 feet. The MetLife blimp, bringing you the aerial shots of today's game.
John Carney.
Snoopy won. I love it. He is surveying everything.
I always think of that Dan Reeves story.
Greg Robinson back to receive for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, the golf story. I have a lithograph of that, by the way. Here's the kickoff is taken by one of the upbacks, just a scrib kick to try to run some clock. Dan Reeves it was on a weekend that he had off last year when he was in Denver, and he and his wife were up in Carmel, and they walked into an art gallery, and there was this picture of Snoopy. And it was on the golf course. Right. And he had just teed off and started, and there was Snoopy and his caddy, Charlie Brown, and all the crowd, and the voice in the bubble behind the crowd said, "You the dog." There he is, and you the dog. 36-yard line with 16 seconds left in the first half.
Wait a minute.
And now
down? What's this?
Hey.
The 36? If you're on your own 10, I understand, but the 36? What, you can't take a shot at it? Goodness.
You're tied at 10.
I guess.
And you still are tied at 10.
Come on.
Ooh, good first half. San Diego 10. All right, we are tied as we start the second half. And the Los Angeles Raiders will be moving on offense as they will accept the kickoff to start the third quarter. That means that John Carney will be kicking up. Alexander Wright and Rocket Ismail are the 2 return men. And talking of speed, they both have it in abundance. A very warm yet pleasant afternoon. And at the 5-yard line, here is Rocket Ismail, and he is upended, hit at the 15 or 16-yard line, comes down at the 19, and it was Lewis Bush who nailed him. And first half possessions for the Raiders.
Well, they started out a house of fire, so to speak. The one play, the 71-yarder for the touchdown, and they drove like an 8-minute drive for the field goal. But since that time, the Charger defense has stiffened in the last 4 possessions. You can see it right there. Chargers have made the adjustments.
And so Los Angeles will go to work at their own 19-yard line, first down. They have been unsuccessful trying to establish the run, and they will pick up 3 yards here to the 22. And it is second down and 7. So you always have a feeling that All right, we've tried the run again. That's the last time you're going to see it in the second half, because we are throwing ball club, and to win, we've got to throw successfully.
And it's interesting, too, because it almost becomes like a disease. You know, on the inside of the line, Charlie, you've got Mosbar, Wisniewski, and Montoya, all Pro Bowl players, and Perry is certainly a very valued commodity at left tackle, and Wilkerson's a solid player. You would think that they could generate more than 11 yards in rushing up to this point.
Greg Robinson, the rookie running back, and the veteran fullback Steve Smith for the Raiders, and Hostetler to throw. And a great catch. Ethan Horton, with Carrington draped all over him, pulls it in. He'll pick up 15 yards in the first down.
The touch by Hostetler right here, and then the catch by Horton. What more can Carrington do? Carrington's all over him. It's simply the advantage of one guy being 6'4" and the other guy being 5'11". Great catch by Horton.
And the ball at the Raider 37-yard line and a first down. Opening drive of the second half in a ball game tied at 10 here at the Coliseum. Hostetler to throw on first down. A little swing into the right flat. This is Robinson, the running back, and he will be pushed out of bounds. He will spot the ball at the 42. Stanley Richard was there.
Good open field tackle by Richard. One-on-one in the open field. He does a nice job of getting Robinson outside. Junior Seau came with a linebacker blitz, and that meant that Richard had to come over in the flat. He does a nice job.
And it will be 2nd and 5 at the Raider 42-yard line. Tim Brown is the wide receiver to the near side. And the pitch is to Robinson with Steve Smith leading the way. And he is going to pick up, he's going to be right on the first down marker. If he picks it up, well, when they make the spot, I don't know. But if they do, this will be their first down. It is. This is their first down rushing in the ballgame. First down. And Bert Grossman with the tackle.
I believe this is the longest run of the day. I guess if you only had 11 yards up to that point, it would have to be. 6-yarder there, cuts back against the grain, does a nice job getting the first.
The ball just shy of the 48-yard line and a first down for the Raiders. They started this opening drive of the third quarter back at their own 19-yard line. Hostetler to throw on first down. And he will head for the sideline, then he will go down. He's going to end up with a couple of yards on the play. It'll still be 2nd down and long.
That was wisdom.
Seau was there to cover.
Wisdom on the part of Hostetler. You can see right at the end of there, Junior says, "Oh, you're a lucky man." And Hostetler said, "I know."
Out there. Oops, Junior's waiting on me. I think I'll go down.
The closing speed of Seau right there. Ooh, right there. Okay. Oh, you're all right. You're okay.
Everything's all right.
Patting him on the head. Yeah. He's worth the price of admission. He is. The Junior Seau. Sure fun to watch play.
He's a performer. He loves to perform. He will tell you about it. And here is Robinson, and Robinson has a first down. So all of a sudden, the running attack beginning to work for the Raiders as the Chargers are looking for the pass. A gain of 12. Richard with the tackle.
We complimented Bill Arnsparger for his ability to come with some blitzes undetected. This time they came with a blitz to the inside, and Robinson got to the outside. And the blocking, he didn't even need blocking. Watch as he comes to the outside. There's nobody there. Look at the blitz. There's Hendrickson from the outside linebacker position. There's nobody outside. There's no run support. And so Richard has to come over and make the tackle, but not before Robinson gets the first down.
Hendrickson, of course, the starting left linebacker, replacing Gerald Williams, who is out for the year with that separated shoulder. And it's a first down at the San Diego 38-yard line. And Hostetler throws, and he is on target at the 20-yard line to Tim Brown. Tim Brown's second touchdown of the afternoon, and opening third quarter 81-yard drive led by this man, Jeff Hostetler.
And what a career day Tim Brown is having. 5 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the line play for the Raiders is outstanding there, enabling Hostetler to step up and hit Tim Brown on that deep in route.
Jaeger to attempt the point after. And it is good. And the Raiders have recaptured the lead. We have a flag down at the 8-yard line. Holding against the Raiders.
We've been seeing that called a lot more this year on the flanks. What happens is the speed rushers are coming from the outside and the fullbacks are hooking them. On the Monday night game, Ethan Horton was called for the same thing.
Holding. Number 41 on the offense. 10 yards. We'll retry.
In this case, it's McCallum on the other flank who gets caught with the hold.
And so now the extra point attempt for Jeff Jaeger becomes a medium-range field goal attempt.
You can see number 41 right there. He is the right up back, and usually you have somebody come inside and outside of him, and what happens is the right hand will hook the guy, and that's what the official sees and calls holding right there.
30 yards for the extra point, and it's good. Raiders 17, Chargers 10. We'll be back with the kickoff. Back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We have 10 minutes and 18 seconds. That is the time remaining. We're in the third quarter, and the Raiders have recaptured the lead 17-10. And Nate Lewis will down the ball in the end zone, and the Chargers will start from their own 20-yard line.
We talked earlier about when Anthony Miller right here, the in route by Tim Brown is going to come down and the protection is just too good. The safety goes back, doesn't give any help, and this is just too much to ask this corner to cover him all over the field. Now when he makes the nice move in the middle of the field and avoids the tackler at safety, he's in for the 6. Nice move right there to avoid the tackle, and there he goes. Protection in that particular play is crucial because the deep in route is difficult. It takes a long time to throw. Watch Hostetler step up, and look at all the green. Look at the gaps there. He steps up, aims the ball, puts it right on the numbers, and Brown has his 2nd touchdown of the game. And I mentioned a career day, Charlie. 5 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The 156 is his career best.
And that last replay, that was a Snoopy look from the MetLife Blimp. And here is Marion Butts from the 20-yard line up to the 27-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 3.
Here's a sight you don't want to have if you're in the secondary. 6'1", 250 pounds, and 4.55 40 coming right at you. Look at that. He gets the initial collision is right about for a 2-yard gain, and he ends up getting 7 yards. I've always wondered why after the 1990 season when he had 1,250 yards, why he didn't become a star. I thought for sure that he was going to be a star in this league, but he's struggled since then.
This time he struggles off the right side, just across the 30. That'll be a 1st down.
Well, I'm curious what you think as you live in San Diego. Is it an injury factor, change in organizations? Because, I mean, he would just look like he was, you know.
I think one of the reasons, he had the nagging thigh injuries, that those deep thigh bruises, and they just won't go away.
He reminds me a little bit of Jim Nantz.
Yes.
Jim Nantz, the Patriots.
Yes.
Faster than people think, very powerful.
Oh, yes. But he still has a lot of time.
You're right.
This is only his 5th year. And it's a 1st down at the 30-yard line. And here is Butts. This time they were waiting on it. And Nolan Harrison was there to wrap him up.
Notice Nolan Harrison now has a big wrap over his elbow. He must have had some elbow problems there at halftime. They taped it up, and whether it was a dislocation or just a bruise, he's back. Making himself available for the Raiders. I almost said he's back. I'm glad I didn't do that.
That's all right. 2nd down and 14.
There's the elbow all padded up.
Breeze's pass is complete to Derek Walker, and Walker kind of stretches out. They'll spot it at the 37-yard line. So he picks up 10 of the 14. It'll be 3rd down. Now, if you were with us at the beginning of the ball game, you will remember for the Raiders on their first offensive play, Hostetler to Tim Brown 71 yards to jump out in front quickly, 7-0. And then the Chargers came back to answer it with a 78-yard drive in 9 plays to tie it at 7. And now the Raiders with that opening 81-yard drive to open the second half, and the Chargers are trying to answer it here. It's 3rd down and 4. And here's reverse to Sean Jefferson,
Great
and he
call.
could go all the way down the sideline. Not quite. Derek Hoskins.
And the flag goes down. That was a long ways out of bounds, and he collided with a photographer. You know what? I think he hit the tripod of the photographer, and that's why he's so shook up. He gets hit about 5 yards out of bounds. This is a great call by Jack Riley. Great call, 3rd and 3. Everybody's looking for it inside. Take a look at the misdirection. Everybody's going to go to the right. Freeze hides the ball, and here comes Jefferson. As you mentioned, Charlie, the great speed. Hoskins cutting completely across the field. Look how far out of bounds he is when he gets hit. Now watch the collision right there. That's the tripod of the photographer. Watch his legs in the iron right there at the end. Ouch. Oh, man.
And Hoskins saves the touchdown. It was 32 yards on the play plus the penalty. But he is the only man that had the angle on him that could get him. That was 3rd down and 4 on that call.
What I find fascinating is as Jefferson bounces up and goes to the side, he's hurting a little bit and he's limping, and the photographer's the guy that bounces up. How many times do you see that happen?
Well, those photographers, they can come back in a hurry.
Yeah, they're very resilient.
15-yard line of the Raiders, 1st down. And here is Marion Butts. He cuts back and then back at the middle. Inside the 5. It'll be 1st down and goal to go. Eddie Anderson stops him after a gain of 13.
Great vision on the part of Marion Butts. This play is designed to go off tackle to the right. Watch what he does when he sees the hole in the middle. He cuts back against the grain. Nobody there in the middle. Good job by Harry Swain in pushing down Nolan Harris and enabling Butts to get the 1st down now at the 2-yard line.
1st down and goal to go. 6.5 minutes. Time remaining, 3rd quarter. Raiders lead by 7. The Chargers driving for the tie. Natron Means into the end zone. We have a flag on the play.
They're going to get holding.
Holding against San Diego. At the 2-yard line, it'll go out to the 12.
Oh, this really hurts the Chargers. Joe Malinchik came around and just buried Eddie Anderson. But what the officials saw was apparently he felt like he had a piece of it.
The offense, 10 yards, still 1st down.
1st down, goal to go, 12-yard line. Freeze to throw. Drops it underneath the coverage, and the pass is incomplete to Derek Walker. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go.
This is where the young quarterback has to get his composure, as do the coaches on the sideline. Okay, that touchdown's gone. Too many times you let it linger. You got to let that go now. You got 2 more plays to get it in the end zone. Once again, he also should be aware of the fact, remember at the end of the 1st half when they had 1st down at the 30-yard line, they threw 3 balls into the end zone. He doesn't have to do that here.
And here is Marion Butts. Butts to the outside. He is going to score. Pulled down from behind, but not before he is in the end zone. So it was the run that got them there. The run that got them in the end zone. The holding penalty out to the 12. And Marion Butts does it again on the ground.
This is the right call against the wrong defense. They go with the draw play. They come inside. Look, they're going to come with 7 guys in the blitz. Once he breaks past the line, there's nobody there. There's no run support. And Marion Butts, as we mentioned, great speed, pulled down from behind by Hoskins, but not before he gets in for the tying touchdown.
And Bobby Ross's reaction, and now John Carney
To attempt the point after.
to try and tie it up.
John Kidd to hold.
And it is good. And the Chargers, with an answering 80-yard touchdown drive, we're tied again, this time at 17. 6 minutes and 6 seconds. That is the time remaining, 3rd quarter. The Chargers and the Raiders, one of the great rivalries in the National Football League, tied at 17. Alexander Wright and Rocket Ismail are the 2 return men, and now they're going to reverse sides.
For the Raiders.
And so Rocket is on the near side.
And he's going to get the ball.
And he's going to get the ball. At the 4, to the 10, to the 20. Still on his feet at the 30. Still going. He's at the 40. What a magnificent, there's a flag. What a magnificent return. 44 yards on the return. Marquez Pope took him out of bounds, and then he was trying to grab him at the end so that there wouldn't be a flag. I don't think he was trying to hit him out of bounds. I think he was just running along with him.
I don't think that's what the call is. Ismail, he was the all-time kickoff return leader up in Canada, and this is why. Look at the moves. 1 broken tackle, 2. This guy's more than just a speedster. 3. Look at the feet, the sweet feet. Now he comes to the outside. Look at the stiff arm. That's what's called. He grabs Pope's face mask.
Face mask.
Yes, absolutely. That's going to go against the Raiders.
Yep.
Illegal use of the hands, face mask by the ball carrier. Be a 10-yard penalty, first down at 10.
And that is a good call by the officials.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
still, it doesn't. The field position is still excellent for the Raiders, and that's certainly one of the reasons why they got number 86.
And we'll step aside for a moment. We're tied at 17. Raiders first down, their own 38-yard line. 17-17 tie, 5:52. Time remaining. We're in the 3rd quarter. And once again, the Raiders try to establish a running game. This is Greg Robinson. We're going to give him a yard on the play. So that means to this point of the ball game, the Raiders have rushed for a total of 31 yards. And the Chargers, meanwhile, have rushed for a total of 109 yards.
You know what, though? You have to do it.
32? Okay, 32.
And the reason I say you have to do it is because if you don't do it, then all of a sudden the front 4 is going to pin their ears back and then it come that much quicker. And let's look at the scoreboard. It's still only 17-17. They can still run.
Second down and 8.
Hostetler audible.
And he goes deep into triple coverage and hits his man. James Jett, Olympic speedster. What a great throw. 55 yards. The Chargers had triple coverage, and they could not shut down the Jet.
19.92. It's going to come across your screen. 200 meters in 1992. This is nothing but speed. Take a look on the flag route, cutting completely across the field. He's able to come underneath it. There's nothing you can do about that. Carrington and Richard actually in good coverage. But when you have that kind of speed, it kills.
Hostetler now is thrown for over 300 yards, 318. Back to the ground. There's going to be a couple of yards there for Greg Robinson. Donald Frank and Stanley Richard on the stop at the 3-yard line, where it will be second down and goal to go.
I've been so impressed today, the number of balls that Hostetler has put right on the money, in stride. I mean, that's all well and good to talk about that speed, but in a lot of cases, you got to get a guy that can get the ball there. In the case of Tim Brown, in the case of Jett, he's done exactly that.
Yes. 15 of 22, 318, 2 touchdowns, no interception. This one is intercepted in the end zone. Here is Donald Frank. Frank is going to score. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
The long stride.
Oh.
102 yards.
Oh, my. Here we are talking about all the great moves that Hostetler is making and the one bad pass that he throws. He absolutely does not see Donald Frank and throws it right in his hands, and there's nobody left. There's nobody to run after except the quarterback, and he's mobile, but he's no match for Frank. Watch the left of your screen. He just flat out doesn't see Frank. He throws it right into his hands. And there it is. The rest is history. He's gone. This is no foot race. Hostetler doesn't have a chance.
And the Chargers move on top 23-17.
Oh, my. You can see that react. Oh, everybody going for their heads there. Oh, no. No.
First time in the ballgame, the Chargers have been ahead. They've been tied twice at 10 and at 17. But now they have the lead with the extra point by Carney. They're on top 24-17. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment.
This is either poor route running or an excellent guess on the part of Donald Frank. He's supposed to go with the man in motion here who's going to run a route right here.
Wait a minute, you're working on the telestrator and we're still working on this shot. We're going to wait after the kick and then we go back. We'll have a little bit more time and show you exactly what happened. That 102-yard interception return for the touchdown, second longest in history against the Raiders. And the first one?
Vincey Glenn had a 103-yarder.
Alexander Wright and the Rocket now. We're switching sides. And here is the Rocket at the 6. Last time he had a 44-yarder. And he's at the 30. And he's across the 35 out to around the 37, 38-yard line. Sean Van Horst stopped him this time after 31 yards.
Either this is a case of somebody guessing lucky or a poor job of route running. Frank is supposed to stay here with Jet, who's going to come underneath, but instead of staying with him, he lingers over here. And Hostetler never sees him at all. He doesn't go with the route at all. He throws it right into the hands of Frank, and he goes the distance. As I say, the man in motion is supposed to take Frank away from Tim Brown, but he didn't do it in that case, and the result is a touchdown going the other way.
And the high-stepping score by the touchdown-scoring Donald Frank.
Now you know what you do right here? Whoever Frank is covering, that's who you to throw to. He's got to be tired, right? 102 yards he just ran?
You think so? But he's young and strong. And Hostetler steps away from a possible sack. The flag is down.
I think they got the face mask. I think Grossman got a piece of his face mask, and that's what they're going to call.
And he battles his way out to the 40-yard line. We'll go back to that flag. And you're right. Chargers leading 24-17. And we have just over 3 minutes.
Face mask by the defense. 5 yards to the end of the run. First down.
Grossman, in his attempt to sack Hostetler, just gets a piece of the mask. Good call by the official.
And by adding it to the end of the run, the ball goes out to the 46-yard line. And it's a first down. 2:56 and counting. Time remaining, third quarter. Now, one of the things you might notice here, and it might come into effect, we'll just point out, take a look at the shadows, and we'll talk about it. Here's the handoff, Robinson. And Robinson moves into San Diego territory across the 50. Now for an update. Hey, let's go to New York and Jim Lampert. All right, thank you, Jim. Everything now beginning to heat up in the AFC West with Denver, Kansas City, the Raiders. Chargers trying to get into it. And here is Gary Plummer. He picks up the interception. Second interception of the ball game for San Diego. And suddenly Hostetler, who was perfect for the afternoon, now runs into a gaggle of trouble, including 2 picks.
Pretty good athletic play on the
Plummer in regard to this rivalry. And he has a very set opinion about it, as a matter of fact. And it's a first down at the 35-yard line. And here is a couple of yards rushing for Marion Butts. And now, here is Gary Plummer.
Raiders, I hate them. Always have, always will.
What do you hate about them?
Growing up in the Bay Area when, they were in their heyday, so-called heyday, I just, always thought that they were a bunch of cheap shot, arrogant punks, and I don't think anything's changed, really.
Okay.
Well, how do you really feel?
Okay.
Second down and 7. Freeze to throw. Drops it off underneath the covers to Marion Butts. And he is down at the 41-yard line. It'll go for a gain of 3. It'll be third down. Now, let me just point out, see the way the shadows are. Now, that means in reality, when you look at it, is that the Raiders have had the sun at their back, but their receivers turning back have had to look into the sun. Now, we will have the switch in the fourth quarter. You played many games here in the Coliseum. Does that really come into effect?
Actually, it does in some cases. I remember that going in the direction of going east and west, when you look over a pass, if the sun can catch you in the eye, it's a tough catch. So it could be consequential. Not unlike the kind of twilight you see in baseball. Yes. Those 5 o'clock games where the shadow covers home plate.
Freeze goes deep, has a man. It is Ronnie Harmon back.
What an athletic play.
Backpedaling, makes the catch, stops dead, almost, doesn't quite, but almost avoids it.
This is amazing. It's not just the catch, but at the end of the play, here he is running full speed on the corner route. Watch at the end of the play, he actually backpedals. This would tear your groin apart. Watch as he backpedals it. Look at this. And makes the catch and is able to keep from going out of bounds. Amazing. What an athlete.
36 yards on the play.
Look at that. Boy, oh boy. He can play defensive back. There's nothing this guy couldn't do on the football field. What a catch and what a move by Harmon.
And a first down at the 22-yard line of the Raiders. Gain of 36. 12 seconds of counting, time remaining third. Flags are down. Whistle sound, pass is incomplete. They're going to bring this one back. Normally that means you had a false start by the offensive line, and so the play is dead. They'll reset the clock. Penalty against the Chargers, and they'll do it again.
To this point.
I thought they'd reset the clock at 12 seconds, but they didn't.
And don't forget that Harry Swain is a converted defensive lineman. To go from converted defensive lineman to starting left tackle, well, that's impressive.
Here's the last play of the third quarter, and it is incomplete. Is Derek Walker stretching out for it and could not pull it in. Hoskins had the coverage after 3. Chargers lead it 24-17. Back after these messages. Through 3 quarters, Chargers lead it 24-17, and truly one of the great sportsmen, athletes here, Muhammad Ali.
The greatest.
The champ. And you were visiting with him at halftime and asked him.
We had a lot of conversations circling around boxing, but finally I asked him, I said, Muhammad, I said, what position did you play? And I'm thinking tight end.
I thought linebacker. I thought linebacker, yeah.
And I said, what position? Just quarterback. With apologies to Billy Crystal, quarterback. I said, why is that? He says, because I'm so good.
And he is.
He is.
And he's right.
He's the greatest.
Flags on the play, and Free spins away. Pass is complete far side, and that is Marion Butts, and he is brought down by Aaron Wallace. And Howie Long was, I believe, the one that was into, but was he drawn off or not? We'll have to wait and see. San Diego 24, Raiders 17, as we have now started the fourth quarter. Against the Raiders. Earlier today, Miami defeated Kansas City 30-10.
Number 75 on the defense, 5 yards.
And it is on Howie.
Down.
And so the penalty will take the ball to the 22. There he is. Oops, jumped in.
Yep.
Did not get back out.
Good job, and good job on the part of Walker for holding still at the tight end position. A lot of times the guy moves and he flinched just a little bit and he hung tough.
Second down and 10.
Playing some good football, number 75. People thought now heading into
his 13th year.
Going to be 34 in January. He's still doing it.
Freeze to throw. Has pressure. Gets the pass off. Pass is complete. Nate Lewis, and he is dropped in his tracks by Terry McDaniel. That's a tough catch for Nate because he had to wait on it, and he knew that he was going to.
You know, a lot of cases when they're successful in college, they're used to having those big offensive linemen take care of them. Now all of a sudden they got to throw in guys are 2 feet away. It's tough.
Third down and 6. Freeze has pressure. Is hit. It's incomplete. Oh, and he was nailed. Andre Bruce.
Yeah, Andre Bruce, former first-round pick, first pick of the entire draft of the Atlanta Falcons back in 1987, now a reserve defensive end for the Raiders. They got some fresh legs in there, and it paid off. Coming from the right of your screen, he actually had some pretty decent protection right at the last. Here, Bruce is actually down, gets up in time just to get on the hand. Good play by Bruce, forcing a field goal attempt.
And it will be a 36-yard field goal attempt by John Carney. He has hit from the 45 in the ballgame. And it is up. And it is through. Just barely. And that is good enough. So add 3 more. The Chargers lead by 10, back with the kickoff. As we come back, San Diego will be kicking off. And once again, Alexander Wright and Rocket Ismail are changing sides. They want the Rocket to return it, and he is going to. Out of the 20, and then he is down. Good tackle.
Steve Hendrickson.
Hendrickson, who is everywhere, makes the tackle.
Snap was a little bit low. Good catch by Kidd off to the side, and watch how close this is to being a miss. Looks like it's going to fade, but that natural hook pulls it back.
And now, Kidd is normally the backup holder. Is that Freeze normally holds for him. So remember, though, that he was nailed, not necessarily sacked, but, you know, slammed down on his shoulder on the last offensive play. So that's a good hold. And so the Raiders now down by 10 at their own 21-yard line, first down. 13 and a half minutes left to go in the ballgame. Still looking for a running attack. Here is Robinson. He's going to pick up 7 or 8 yards on the play. And be sure to stay with us tonight here on NBC. Our good friend John Forsythe. Oh, what a great talent he is. An all-time nice man. And he has the all-new Eyewitness Video, followed by the new Sequest adventure. Michael Keaton is starring in the network television premiere of the movie One Good Cop. His partner's murdered. Now he has only 2 choices: to play by the rules or do what he feels is right. Do what's right. Do what's right. That's a good one. We'll look forward to that one. And now again the running attack. Robinson. Are you surprised by this? Down by 10, a lot of time, of course.
I think they have a lot of confidence in their defense. Remember that the touchdown that put them ahead had nothing to do with the offense. It was that 102-yard interception return. So they feel like that, you know, with the clock 12:30 and running, that they've got a shot that they can still run the ball. The chuckle there, Bill Arnsparger. I just enjoyed how you guys reminisced. I sat there and I turned to someone and I said, when you were sitting there with Bill Arnsparger, I said, do you realize how many flights and hotel rooms are combined between those 2 guys?
That's a funny one. Wide open is Robinson. He's to the 30. Needs 1 block. Does not get it. Is stopped inside the 5-yard line. 58 yards, and the Raiders have returned. Was all alone.
Hard to tell what the situation was in coverage, but they came man for man. Here comes the blitz. Now watch number 27. There's Frank. He guesses on the wrong guy. He guessed right once. This time he guesses wrong, and as you mentioned, all alone. Carrington and Gordon come down there right at the end to make the tackle, but a big play for the Raiders. Down to the 5-yard line now.
Where it is first down and goal to go. And the ground attack is working. This is Randy Jordan. His first appearance, he was just activated a couple of days ago off of the practice squad. It'll be second down and goal to go.
He's been sitting on the bench for 3 quarters, and the first thing you do is carry the ball. Wow. They obviously have a lot of faith in this kid.
San Diego 4-yard line just outside the 3.
Gain of 2. Second and goal from the 3.
Steve Smith is the blocking back. He leads the way, and Jordan gets the carry. Blaze Winter has the tackle. I'm assuming that they're just giving Greg Robinson a breather after that long run so he can catch his breath.
Big call here on the part of Arnsparger. Does he go with the blitz? Because more than likely they're going to go with the 3-wide package.
Montgomery comes in, and Tim Brown comes back into that offensive set at the 3.
I was surprised on that call because second down is usually the best time for play action inside the 5-yard line. Now it's third down. Everybody in the park knows they're going to have to throw.
Montgomery is the remaining back, but this is a passing offensive set. Pressure from O'Neal from the backside, and he hit him just as he was trying to release the ball. It'll be an incomplete pass. Oh, and he was nailed.
And here's Leslie O'Neal. No sacks, nothing of consequence up to this point. Easily could have quit on this, and look what he does. He runs down Hostetler from the backside. What an effort by number 91.
And remember, Leslie is 6'4", 265 pounds, and he's been playing the whole ball game, and here he comes.
They don't block him at all because they say there's no way he can make that play from the other side. Oh, yeah? Wow. What an effort by number 91.
Now this is 4th down, so that means the field goal team is in. O'Neal saving a possible touchdown. Hostetler is coming to the sideline.
That clearly had to hurt. There's no way he felt him coming. Look at that today. 6 knockdowns.
5 hurries, 6 knockdowns, 3 sacks, 4 deflections.
And interesting at the top of the show, of course, Charlie, we talked so much about the Raiders and their pass rush. But it's the Chargers who've been putting the hurt on Hostetler, even though he does have well over 300 yards.
And a reminder again that the margin is 10 points. And right now, if the Raiders want to play for the tie, and they are a possible overtime, just kind of looking down the line, you need the field goal, and so they can get it here. This is from the 11, an attempt of 21 yards. A high snap that is pulled back, and the field goal is good from 21 yards away. And the margin is now 7. Hostetler is trying to stay loose and bring it all back together. First things first, as Jager is kicking off, and Nate Lewis will down the ball in the end zone, and the Chargers will start at the 20-yard line. Don't forget, next Saturday, don't miss the Breeders' Cup on NBC, racing's championship day from Santa Anita Park. It's the richest day in thoroughbred racing, the 10th running. Gosh, already? It's been a decade of the Breeders' Cup. Next Saturday live, 1:30 Eastern Time, here on NBC. And this is the look over the edge of the Coliseum, the sun setting in the west. As you know, we're back on standard time, and you will see, of course, the smoke from the fires and some of the haze that is still with us here today in Los Angeles. Chargers from their own 20, Natron Means, and he has about 7 yards. So it'll be second down and short.
And that run took the crowd a little bit out of the game, trying to fire up their defense and screaming, then a 7-yard gain by Means. Good hole open up by the right side, the much maligned right side of the offensive line for the San Diego Chargers.
This has been a game of big plays. The first offensive play, the 71-yard touchdown by the Raiders to Tim Brown, the 102-yard interception touchdown return by Donald Frank, the reverse to Sean Jefferson, Leslie O'Neal and his big play defensively. Ronnie Harmon has made several. And here Natron Means just grinding it out. He's got the first down out to the 33-yard line. And again, a reminder as far as the AFC West is concerned, and that is the fact that Miami defeated Kansas City 30-10 earlier today. And Denver is leading in their ball game over Seattle. And right now, San Diego is leading in this ball game. And so the West is getting closer and closer. And here is Natron across the 40. He's out to the 42-yard line. He's going to pick up about 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. Anthony Smith making the tackle.
Does a good job of putting his hand on the back of Zandowski, who comes out to pull for him. Boy, it looked like the old days of Taylor and Thurston. He had his hand right on his butt, follows through in the trap block. Good job up front once again by the Charger offensive lineman.
It'll be second down and 1. Alfred Pipunu just arriving in the huddle. And here is Natron. Cuts to the outside, slips the tackle. And he's almost to the 40-yard line of the Raiders. He's going to pick up about 18 yards on the play and the important first down.
This wasn't what the doctor ordered for the Raider defense. Look at the offensive line charging up, moving people. Look at the hole by Means. He avoids one tackle, breaks another, cuts to the outside. But it's that front 5 of the Chargers that are doing the job. A very opportune time to get a running game going.
And remember, the Chargers come into this ballgame with a record of only 2-4. But they had a very slow start last year.
And let's not also forget that the last 2 times here in the Coliseum they defeated the Raiders.
And Freeze's pass is complete to Derek Walker. And the clock continues to move now, 6:58 and counting, and all of a sudden we'll be down inside of 5 minutes.
Once again, that was a good call on the part of the Chargers. Running 4 straight times, everybody's bunched for the run. Very conservative short pass, know that you can complete it, misdirection play. Chargers are doing all the right things right now.
And now as we look down, you can see the sun setting in the west, and of course the shadow from the rim of the Coliseum creeping across the gridiron. I always love it. Creeping across the gridiron.
Got that Grantland Rice
yes.
working, don't you?
That's where I first heard it. And here is Marion Butts. He is back in as the running back. He and Natron now have been alternating there.
Once again, maybe I'm being foolish asking this question. Means had 4 carries. He can't be tired, can he? I mean, he was running so well. And Butts, 6 yards a carry, that's great. But he was the guy that had it working. Why would he come out at this point?
The only thing I can assume is that they are alternating because they're different kinds of runners.
Okay.
Giving the defense a different look, a different feel.
Maybe it's a rhetorical question. Maybe it's a foolish thing to ask. I'm surprised.
No, but it's a challenge to answer it. Needing only half a yard for the first down.
It's going to be close. I was surprised at that. Then you got one back's 249, and then was 245. You want to go with a sneak with your quarterback. I think they got it, though.
And they do. And the ball is at the 30-yard line.
Not a very happy sideline. I really think that they felt that after they were going to kick that field goal, that they would be able to stop them and force them to kick, and obviously that hasn't occurred. Now they're in field goal range.
First down, all even up as you saw at 16. Chargers lead by 7, 27-20. And we're moving on the 5-minute mark of time remaining in the game. And normally when you see this happen, you had a false start, a movement by an offensive lineman, and the defensive lineman just reach over and make contact.
False start, number 71 on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
It's on Joe Malinchik, the right guard. That'll take it back to the 35. It'll be 1st and 15.
2 reasons this is foolish. One, obviously the penalty moves you back 5 yards and it messes with your momentum. And of course the other thing too is it stops the clock temporarily, which you certainly don't want to do at this point.
Let's go, defense!
And speaking of the clock, at this point the young quarterback should be looking at the 25 and 40-second clocks and take all the time off that he can, coming out of the huddle and having it snap with 2 or 1 seconds.
Natron Means slides through, and he goes to the 26-yard line, so he'll pick up 9. And particularly here in the 4th quarter, the rushing attack of Marion Butts and Natron Means have been very effective against the Raiders.
Well, let's give credit where credit's due. Let's give credit Harry Swain, Mike Zandowski, Courtney Hall, Joe Malinchik, and Stan Brock, a group that's been taking a lot of abuse in the press, and to a certain extent justified. Now when they really have to have it, they're moving some people off the ball.
2nd down and 7. And here is Means. And it'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. Derek Hoskins with the tackle, the strong safety.
Under 4 minutes now, the Raiders might want to think about using a timeout.
3rd and 4 at the 24-yard line. San Diego leads by 7. Timeouts remaining. Both ball clubs with 3.
I tell you what, this clock is just bleeding up. I wouldn't throw here at all. I'd go off tackle, set up the field goal on the left hash, force them to use their timeouts. Don't take any chances.
And here is Ronnie Harmon. Harmon leans out, and
you got it.
He needed to get just past the 20. The point of the ball just past the 20. Let's see where they make this spot. Andre Bruce makes the tackle, and we'll have a measurement.
Official calling for a measurement.
Is it just me, or is it the body language? It seemed like the defense of the Raiders very lethargic this drive.
Yeah.
Right when they really needed it, they weren't able to stop the run. Very surprised. Because outside of the 116-yard run by Butts earlier in the game and the reverse by Jefferson, they really hadn't established much. Now all of a sudden the one drive, there it is.
Now,
how close is that?
How close is it? Got to get ready. He may take out, Brett Cash is the referee, he may take out a credit card and put it down to see if it touches it.
They want to go for it too.
Yes.
Offensive linemen are all screaming, we're going for this.
I would go for this one. It is just.
Well,
it's less than a smidgen, which is just that much.
Here's what you do here. You let the clock roll off. You let the clock roll off, try and draw them off sides. If it doesn't work, call timeout with 1 second left and have the guy come kick the field goal. You got a great kicker in Carney.
would do the same thing, but then I would run for it. I would give it to Natron Means and go for it.
So you wait to get down to the 1 second. Okay. Freeze is aware of this.
But I'm like you. I don't think they're going here. They are. Natron over the top, and he's got it. You know something? That's a compliment to that offensive line, because they have been doing it throughout the ball game, and like you said, that's what they wanted to do. They have been much aligned. They've had a lot of injuries, and now they will come out as the stars of the ball game.
And deservedly so. Says a lot, too, for a rookie in that situation. Natron Means, that's the man they give to in that crucial 4th down. They push the pile enough for him to vault over the top. And short of a turnover, that's going to be the ball game.
And it's a first down at the 18-yard line, and now Freeze turns, looks, and he will take a timeout. And that will stop the clock with 2:23 left to go, and San Diego up by 7, 27-20, and we'll be back in just a moment. And Snoopy looking down for the MetLife blimp, king of all he surveys, or big dog of all he surveys, and we've got some people running on the field, and we have personnel chasing them, and meanwhile the game is going on.
Whoa! Oh goodness!
And I think that's a bit of an overkill.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 9 or 10 policemen. I don't think you need to hurt anybody. He's wrong by even being there. But you just quietly take him and move him off to the sideline.
Goodness.
I think this is a complete overreaction by the gendarmes.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Have they had a little police problem here in Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, but that's still, you know. But,
I agree.
Yeah.
No, that's right. The guy took a shot in the kidney.
Yeah.
They take it personally, though.
Oh yeah. Now the question is, do they get to run the last play over?
Now they brought it back to the same time.
Okay.
They threw it all out.
Reset the clock. Mark the ball at the 18-yard line.
Before the snap, it's first down, 2:23 on the clock.
What has happened, of course, the umpire who could see it coming, the referee couldn't, Red Cantion couldn't see it. So he saw, blew the whistle. Everybody checked the clock. So here we go again. First down.
That just reminded me, did you ever go streaking?
No.
Okay.
Are you kidding with my body? You'll laugh a minute.
Well, that just made me, that made me think about it right there.
And that could well be the last play before.
Now they get the timeout in before.
And they got the timeout in.
Number 1,
and the clock is stopped with 2:13. And so we'll step aside for a moment, and we'll be back. Don't go away. 2 minutes and 13 seconds still left to decide this ball game. San Diego with 2 timeouts, and the Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining. The margin, as you know, is 7. The Chargers up 27-20. And a lot of things can happen in the last 2:13. And now we have jumping on the left side. That was Mike Zandowski. And that will cost San Diego a quick 5.
before the ball was snapped. False start.
Do you believe
Number
this?
70 on the offense. 5 yards, still second out.
Oh, man, this is how you gray in a hurry.
It was 2nd and 6, and now it will be 2nd and 11. Oh.
Come on. That's what he's thinking. Just come on.
Still
run the plays.
2:13.
All we have to do is run the plays. We've got a great kicker. He comes out, kicks the field goal. We're up by 10. And we put in our prevent defense, maybe give them a score, but we win the game. His thinking right here is he's like a director. Can't they follow the script?
That's right. Means is the running back. And he carries. And he's going to lose a couple of yards, maybe 3, maybe 4. Chester McLaughlin was there for the Raiders. And now the 2-minute warning will be given to both benches. We'll step aside, and we'll be back to the Coliseum. From the Coliseum, from the MetLife blimp that travels more than 60,000 miles a year, covering a variety of sports and special events, led by the man, led by the dog, Snoopy.
Any chance you think San Diego throw? I me would be
Yeah.
a complete surprise.
No, I think that they would. Might throw to the end zone.
Problem is, though, is if he gets sacked, then they're out of field goal range.
Third down, 15. Here is Natron Means, and he is to the 20-yard line. So this will be a 37-yard field goal attempt by John Carney. That's exactly, of course, what he was doing, holding on to it, trying to pick up just a few extra yards. We got a timeout taken on the field.
Well, based on, let me make a point here. Based on that last field goal that he had that just slid inside the right upright, they might have been better off getting to that left hash. Maybe an inconsequential point. I guess we'll see.
Well, and also, though, the way that they ran the play, they positioned it right in the middle, and I wonder if that perhaps, do they ask the kicker
Oh,
to
yeah,
prefer on this?
absolutely.
And
What
he said-
hash do you want?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that he said I want it in the middle, because that's exactly, because, you know, Natron started off to the left, and then he cut back holding on the ball. So
he did.
Positioning it for John Carney. Carney is 2 for 2 in the ball game. He's hit from 45 yards out and from 36 yards out. And this one is going to be either a 37 or a 38 yarder, depending on where they mark it. Looks like it's going to be 38 yards. And this is to stretch the San Diego margin to 10 points. John Kidd is the holder. And it is up. And it is good from 38 yards away. So John Carney is 3 for 3. And the Chargers now lead by a score of 30-20 with 1:49 left in the ball game. We'll be back with the kick and with the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game.
Remember the movie entitled Reversal of Fortune? That's exactly what this play is. The Raiders coming in to score. No. Donald Frank steps in front, and instead of the Raiders having a touchdown and a big lead, it goes completely the other way. 102 yards for Donald Frank and the Chargers. This single play completely changed the complexion of the game. And that is our Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game.
And just as a sideline note on that last drive for San Diego that led to the successful 38-yard field goal by John Carney, the Chargers held the ball for 8 minutes and 9 seconds. And so now the Raiders will have only 1:49 left to go. And here, of course, number 89 is Alexander Wright. Rocket Ismail is number 86, and they go just back and forth because they want the Rocket to return it. Remember earlier he had a 44-yard return.
I was just about to say that.
Yes.
He had some big kicks.
And here is Napoleon McCallum, former San Diego Charger. He was a Raider and then a Charger and then back to the Raider organization. And now let's go back in time.
Clutch kick. Everybody's screaming. They know that this is the decisive kick. That's why he wanted it right down the middle. Hooked it just a little, but it's still money.
And don't forget to credit Sam Ano, as he is the snapper on all the kicks. And, you know, it's a three-pronged success fork.
And John Kidd.
And John Kidd with an excellent hold. Remember that Freeze, as I mentioned earlier, normally has been the holder. So let's see what the Raiders can do with 1:43 left to go in the ballgame. Hostetler shaken up when he was hit by Leslie O'Neal, completes this pass, and he goes to his tight end Ethan Horton, and he goes out of bounds. He'll pick up the first down and stop the clock at the 48-yard line. 1:36 left to go. You know, there is a lot of time.
Hostetler's piling up the numbers statistically, if nothing else. He's had a big day, but I know there's one throw he certainly would like back.
You know, and what you look for, of course, if you're a Raider fan, is the touchdown, the onside kick, the field goal, and then you're looking at overtime.
But they need a quick touchdown.
Yes, they do. Hostetler steps forward. Now he sets, throws, and it is incomplete at the 20-yard line, and he was decked from behind just after he released the pass. And don't forget, coming up next here on NBC, except those of you that are watching here on the West Coast, you don't want to miss Eyewitness Video and Sequest. And then, of course, the movie One Good Cop. And viewers on the West Coast will see their shows this evening at their regularly scheduled time. So bring the ball back to the Raiders' 48-yard line. And it is second down and 10. The crowd this afternoon, just over 45,000 here in the Coliseum. Hostetler back, has pressure in the pocket, and he's throwing this one away.
Oh, let go. Let go. He's stuck. Oh, now they're going to go at it. He was holding on. Sean Lee is at the bottom. He was just holding on, and Hostetler took umbrage to the fact that he kept holding on to his ankle. He didn't know when the play was over, and that's what he's trying to explain to him. I didn't know the play was dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's down, and he has no idea what's going on.
He doesn't know right there. No. He's continuing to hold on to the ankle. The ball's long gone. Hostetler, look at this. Come on, back off. Ooh. That's not a good decision, Jeff. That you certainly don't want your season ended on a mistake like that. And Sean Lee clearly was unintentional.
3rd down and 10. And this one is dumped over the middle to Steve Smith. And he is going to be close to the first down. And that was 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 10. It looks as if where they spot the ball is going to be 4th down and 1. So obviously they will go for it. What we're looking at in the AFC West is Kansas City losing today, and the Raiders looking as if they are going to lose today, as here's the quarterback sneak trying to pick up the first down, as Kansas City would still lead. Denver back in the race with their victory today, and San Diego is still going to trail the pack, but they're trying to turn their fortunes around. So the standings in the AFC West are really becoming bunched, as Kansas City will be atop the list at a record of 5-2. Here's a pass for the first down that is complete to the Rocket.
Problem is Hostetler's on the ground, and by the time he gets up there, well, they stop the clock anyway.
And so the Raiders will take a timeout. And San Diego, if they win here, their record will be 3-4. So a 5-2 against 3-4 from top to bottom, with Kansas City, the Raiders, Seattle, Denver, and San Diego. So you would have to say that they are all in the race as far as a playoff berth is concerned. And this is what it looks as if it is going to look like when this game is complete, and also when the Denver game is complete. They're out in front of Seattle right now, but that game is also not over. And earlier today, Miami defeated Kansas City by a score of 30-10. And again, in case you were not aware of it, congratulations to Don Shula
for tying the all-time record of George Halas, 324 wins. Little sidelight to this game, Charlie. Jeff Hostetler, 19 of 31 for 410 yards, 411 yards rather. That gives him, he's 8 yards away from the all-time Raider record.
Set by Cotton Davidson.
Ooh, you broadcast a few of his
I did a few of those ball games, yes.
Engaging character.
Oh, yes. I remember the last game, one season particularly, with the Raiders at Frank Muir Field, and he lived in Texas, and he was ready to go in his pickup truck. He played the game with his jeans underneath his uniform. So he took the uniform, rolled the jeans down in the truck, and he was headed for home.
There's the record. He just broke it.
And in this pass headed for the Rocket Ismail. 24 seconds left on the clock. Clock is stopped at this point. And don't forget, coming up, the Head & Shoulders post-game show, Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka with all the scores and highlights. And they will, of course, be pointing out what we were talking about. They'll have all of the finals and what is going on in the West.
Now, here's an interesting point right here, Charlie. Because of the tiebreaker, they're going to kick a field goal here. They think that somewhere down the line they've got first down. Instead of going for the touchdown, they're going to kick a field goal here. So if at the end of the season it comes down to a tiebreaker, it's points. That's the only thing I can think of right here.
Well, here's the other thing. This is a 31-yard field goal attempt. They need to go in overtime. They need the field goal, and the field goal is good here from 31 yards away, so that makes it 30-23, and they need a touchdown. And so what you're looking at now is the onside kick possibility, and then you go long 4 times.
I agree, but of course the point is that their chance of getting the touchdown at the 11-yard line are certainly a lot better than at the 45, where they conceivably would recover the onside kick.
Well, I know, I agree with you. It's a strange turn of events. It seems only proper that these decisions be made on Halloween.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I would certainly consider that a spooky decision, as they huddle together with special teams coach Steve Ortmeyer to decide which way they're going to go.
Certainly wish I'd have said that.
Well,
I will.
I did it because I wore the mask.
That's right. Yeah, and somebody came in right after that, and they said, I love Todd. I said, but where do we get a Charlie Jones mask? Thanks a lot. And there is the all-time Raider record, 426 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One, of course, looms large. 102-yard interception return for San Diego by Donald Frank for the score. And right now, that is the difference.
That record,
7 points.
that record, 419 yards by Cotton Davidson, is some 30 years old. I mean, that's quite an effort on the part of Hostetler. Very strange that at the end of the game you'd look at that number and say you lost.
And also with all of the great quarterbacks that the Raiders have had, you know, with Darryl LaMonica and George Bland.
They've only had 2 guys so far over 400 yards. One was Cotton Davidson. You know who the other one was? Tom Flores.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeff Jager.
That's
for the Raiders.
pretty good company.
Here is the onside kick. The ball must go 10 yards or be touched by a Charger for the Raiders to recover it. Now this one is punched down, and that goes out of bounds.
It doesn't matter. Dan Land was about 4 yards offside, so it's not going to matter.
Kickoff out of bounds, more than 20 yards.
But we don't know what to figure out in terms of what Jager was thinking. Clearly mishit that.
You know what I'm wondering?
Yeah.
You know, with that same kind of kick, here's the call.
Offside on the kicking team. We also have out of bounds. It's not a short free kick because it went more than 20 yards. It'll be the receiver's ball on the 35-yard line. First down.
Here's the line right here. Now take a look when you see number 25. He's going to go across that line easily. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, there's about 3 guys across the line now.
And as far as Jager is concerned, what he wants to do, that is he's punching the ball, and he wants to hit it real hard, but right at the top of the ball, so that it takes a third bounce. It goes bounce, bounce, and the third bounce it hits and pops up in the air. And I think he just caught it on the fat of the ball and it just sailed off.
This could be one of those interesting games in terms of down the line. This could be one of those situations that they'll look back on, San Diego saying, hey, we were 2-4. We had to have this game. We went into a foreign place, and we took it. Raiders, on the other hand, 4-2, a lot of momentum going their way with a big win over Denver. You'd have to wonder if that bye week really hurt them. But give the Chargers credit. This is now the 3rd straight time they've defeated the Raiders in the Coliseum.
And as you said, this is a point in the season where the Chargers need the victory to turn this season around just as they turned the season around a year ago.
And nobody gave it to them. They came out and took it, particularly that offensive line. What a great job by the Charger up front.
And don't forget Lampley and Ditka. The NFL Live studio scores and highlights final here once again. Chargers win it 30-23.